There are a couple of things that I've been paying attention to since college football really took off and started paying players. One of those things being the CBA in 2030 for the NFL, because these college athletes have a unique opportunity to do something that the NFL maybe hasn't seen before, and that is get ready to fight and get ready to stand your ground. Because the CBA expires in March of 2031, because at the start of the 2031 season, there needs to be a new CBA in place, and this old one that they're playing under is going to expire. Why I believe this is going to be interesting is because these college athletes are going to be in the NFL, and they are going to be in the NFL coming from college football, where they had NIL, they had collectives, and they had opportunities to make money. Historically, the players that were coming into the NFL didn't have a lot of money. They were struggling, they were grinding, they were doing all those things. That is not the case anymore. And I believe Jeremiah Love was one of the people that was like, listen, I saved and did well with my NIL, with my collective, with the money I made in college. So now in the NFL, I can do different things. What that means to me is if these college athletes coming out of college football play this correctly, we could be in for a really big fight for the CBA in 2030. And my thoughts right now are kind of all over the place, but I have a few things that I feel like really are going to matter as we head to that 2030 CBA signing. The first thing that sticks out to me is it's obvious. These college athletes are getting older when they go into the NFL, and they're getting paid a lot of money to play in college. And so what usually happens is when you get older, when you actually are coming into a situation with money, you can at least have the tools available to start making better decisions. If that is the case, no longer is a broke athlete coming into the NFL. Because if you look at it this way, historically, only the first round draft picks got a fully guaranteed contract. That is how it historically worked. However, if you look at it now, there's some second round draft picks that are starting to get fully guaranteed contracts. And that is because the people that are getting drafted in the second round happen to be the star athletes that were on their college football team. So now as they're entering in the NFL, they're used to a certain pay grade. There's nothing you can do about that. So the NFL has some decisions to make. Historically, only the first round picks got guaranteed money. Now it's starting to be like up into pick 40-ish or so. I believe eventually it's going to continue to go, and the second round draft picks are going to be eligible for fully guaranteed contracts. This is only going to work if the college football athletes hold their ground when they're going to the NFL. They don't need to sign those second round contracts. What they need to do is wait until it's guaranteed and then make a decision to sign it, because they shouldn't need the money. They should be gearing up for this fight. They should be gearing up and being aware of what has happened historically in the NFL so they can fight for guaranteed contracts for second round draft picks. I believe though by 2030, that might extend to the third round. However, that is only going to work if college athletes now dig their heels in and start figuring out what is happening. Look at these contracts, look at the CBA, look what the NFL is doing, and start to kind of figure out some things that they can gear up and fight for right now. Because if you start planning for right now, by the time that comes, you will already have the numbers, you will already have people in place, you will already be able to do the things that you want to do, and that is super important. I hope you're enjoying your video. Don't forget to hit that like button, double check and make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. If you think about it, leave me a comment in the comment section below as well. And did I say turn on those notification bells? If I didn't, make sure you turn on those notification bells. Like the video, make sure you're subscribed, turn the notification bells, leave me a comment section in the comment section below. I'll let you get back to your video. Another big piece of this is the fact that by the time 2030 rolls around, 2021 is technically when college athletes start getting paid legally. If that is the case, there will be 9 years from 2021 to 2030. So that means by the time it's 2030, a lot of the players in the NFL should have been through the NIL and the collective run of college football. That gives them a better negotiating power because they are used to making money. And so for me, when I'm looking at this, I'm just looking at all the things that are happening right now with the NFL. The NFL is trying to go international. The NFL is trying to get a lot more views and make a lot more money. Salary cap is going up. All of these things are happening. What should happen with all of these things going up, that money should start going back into the players at some point, but the players have to to fight for it. You can only usually fight for things like this, though, if you're prepared to fight. And so right now, I need college athletes, anybody that watches this video, I need college athletes to dig in. I need them to focus, because if they are able to focus right now, by the time they get to the NFL, they are going to be in the majority, and they could hold firm on this. They could start saving money now. They could start making decisions now that will impact their CBA negotiations, because those negotiations are coming in 2031. They're probably going to start coming in 2029, because we know how this operates. College football athletes can have power if they start paying attention to what is going on. That is what happens when college football gets a little older. If you go look at drafts historically, people that are starting to get drafted are also getting older. Why? Because they're staying in college longer because they can make more money there. So if they're getting older, they're making more money in college football. The CBA is going to expire. Somebody has to play in the NFL. This is their bargaining chip. This is their negotiating power. I just need people to start talking about it, and I need this to show up, because it is going to happen, and it could change the way the NFL is structured and the way the NFL is operating. Think about an NFL league where the first, second, and third round players get guaranteed contracts. It makes things a little bit more interesting, but just the bigger scale of what I'm mentioning here, it has the capability to impact the NFL. That is why college athletes getting paid the NIL, the collective, the deals, whatever they get is so important to me, because it gives you power. Money gives you power when you're talking about business. And if these athletes have the power, and if these athletes handle this correctly, they can take that power and actually use it for good. And I love that. I want to see these athletes fight. Historically, they haven't fought. Historically, everyone is coming in from different places, different reasons. You're always going to have your outliers, right? You're always going to have your money makers, your people that are making so much money that for them to set out is like, they don't even want to deal with this crop below them, right? But the truth is, the majority of the NFL are people that could really benefit from some of these little bitty clauses and little bitty things happening in the back end. And so this is a great opportunity for college athletes right now to kind of stop and pay attention to what is happening around them, because they could potentially have more power than they think they have. In my mind, the NFL is gearing up for this. That is one of the reasons why I believe that they want to expand into other countries. They want to go into Europe. They want to go in Australia. They want to go to South America. They want to do all these things because they are able to bring in more money. Because if college football athletes play this correctly, they can benefit from the expansion of the NFL. But they have to be gearing up for a fight. They have to understand business. They have to understand the things that are going on. And most importantly, they have to save money and understand their value. That is the only way this is going to work and this is going to mean anything, is if college football athletes understand their value and they're willing to fight for that value. I have been on record as saying collective and NIL helps student athletes. The narrative that collective and NIL is ruining college football, I believe, is a manipulation. I believe they're setting this up so if they make the college athletes seem bad for wanting to make more money, if they make them seem like the bad people and the people who aren't being flexible and the people that are ruining the sport, we forget about the system that is set up that allows them to do this. Also, I don't see coaches making less money. The coaches are benefiting from these college athletes. Without these college athletes, these college coaches are pointless. What is the point? What are you coaching if you don't have players? However, these coaches aren't taking less money, but you want these players to take less money. Absolutely not. Every single player needs to fight for every single dollar they believe that they can get. If they don't feel like they're being compensated well, they need to go somewhere where they're getting compensated fairly, because that is exactly what these coaches are doing. So these college football athletes need to learn how to play this system correctly. I always say, in order to win something, you have to understand it. And once you understand it, you have to get involved with it. And these college athletes have to get involved in what is going on with the NFL currently. And these college athletes have to get involved right now before it's too late. Because if they wait until 2029 to start saving money, that could be too late. So right now, they need to figure out what is going on, what it looks like, what they want to fight for. And somebody needs to go ahead and start circulating that in the atmosphere right now. It is never too late to start playing business. It is never too late to start playing politics. The NFL is currently playing politics. The NFL in my personal opinion, is responsible for leaking some of this information about college football and these athletes and the greediness and they shouldn't make this money and they shouldn't do all these things. That is just what I believe. I can't prove it. I would never be able to prove it because that's how this whole system works. But if these college athletes are able to band together, figure out what they want to do, stand strong in that, and start talking about this stuff right now, if I can see it from the outside looking in, imagine some of the things that are happening that I don't even know about. I'm just saying. But seriously, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. This has been something I've been thinking about. This has been something that I feel like has been coming for a while, but I couldn't quantify it. I couldn't put into words why it matters and why different people are moving and doing different things. But now that I can see this vision, it's a little foggy, but I can kind of see what is going on. I am wondering if anybody else is picking up on this. It is never too early to start making a plan, but I would love to know what you think in the comment section below. What is something that you're thinking about that maybe I didn't mention that has been on your mind? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. As always, I'll see you in my next video.